So, what is operations management then? Operations management means business functions of planning, organizing, staffing, leading, and controlling the resources needed to produce output or products. And operations management is concerned for product, process, and supply chain, while it takes care of time, cost, quality, and flexibility. So operations management is concerned. So for example, when we made a plan to produce 100 units, so you are dealing with product process. Now how you will convert your inputs into outputs. This is known as process. So for example, for producing garments, what you have to do, you have to buy raw materials from outside, and the raw materials is fabric. So fabric is coming from outside of your company. So raw material supplier you are dealing with, it is component of supply chain, or we say it is external supplier. Then you are converting, cutting, sewing, finishing, you are processing, and you got the finished output product. Now again you are going to supply chain. Supply chain, you are now delivering the goods from your company to the distributor. So it is external distributors. So in supply chain, there are three components. One is known as the external suppliers, another is known as the external distributors, and another is process itself. So product, process, and supply chain. Operations manager concern for product, process, and supply chain. Operations manager must produce the product at least possible time, because time is money. How time is money? To run a factory, there are a lot of expenditures. So if you can save 1 minute, depreciation for 1 minute, utility bill for 1 minute, wages for 1 minute, everything for 1 minute will save. So time, if you can minimize the time, your cost will decrease. So operations manager is always concerned with time. If you can produce a product 1 minute less than the previous production time, you can produce more output. So time is very important for the operations manager. Usually they check value added time, throughput time, lead time, manufacturing time. These are the time related concepts the operations manager deal with. So to know more about what is value added time, manufacturing time, cycle time, we will coming back. So for example, when you say throughput time means what? Time takes from production beginning to production end. It is known as the throughput time, total time to produce a product. And value added time. Value added time means that out of the throughput time from beginning to end, there are some non-value added times. Say, for example, the employees are going to washroom There was a machine breakdown. There was a raw material scarcity. For that, you have to wait. So these are the non-value added time. So when you subtract the non-value added time from the total throughput time, it is known as the value added time. So operations manager is concerned for the value added time. They try to minimize the disturbances, disturbances, and it will ultimately save money, cost, and quality is very important issue. If you fail to produce quality product, you will be out of the market in today's world. So there is no compromise between cost and quality. Sometimes we say that low quality, low cost, or low cost, low quality, high cost, high quality. There is no trade-off. There is no trade-off between cost and quality. You have to produce good quality product with low cost. So operations management is still we are defining what is operations management. And there is an assignment for you, individual assignment. What you will do, you will define what is operations management in your own words and you will record it. Say, for example, now I am recording the lecture. Similarly, you will record your lecture. Maybe it is video recording or maybe it is Zoom recording, whatever you know choose, it doesn't matter, but you will record a video, very simple assignment. You will record a video or we say it is self-recording and you will explain what is operations management. All right, you will give examples. I have given one example, you will give another example. You will explain that operations management deals with product, process, supply chain. You will deal with operations manager is concerned with cost, quality, time, and flexibility. Operations management ultimately, what is operations management? Operations management ultimately converting inputs into operations manager manages man, machine, methods, money, materials, information, technologies to produce output products. Operations manager transformation role is to add value, increase product value at each stage. As we have mentioned earlier in our previous class, can you recall what is value added? Add value. Mithila. Mithila, can you hear me? It is the, bad side of online lecture because today's Gen Z is very busy with their personal jobs. And Mithila is no exception. Mithila and Mr.
Hello, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. Sir, I'm just way too home from office. That's why I couldn't notice your call.
So then you're on the way to home.
Yes, sir, from office.
Okay, next time we will answer questions after going back home.
Okay.
Then Ishrat Jahan.
ইয়েস স্যার। স্যার
So
অ্যাড
you
ভ্যালুতে হচ্ছে আপনি বলছিলেন যে এটা হচ্ছে একটা এক্সট্রা কোনো ক্রাইটেরিয়া একটাতে থাকবে যেটা অন্যদের নাই, যেটা আমাদেরকে এই প্রোডাক্টটা সেল করার জন্য আর কি প্রফিটেবল হবে, এরকম কিছু বলছিলেন।
add value, add value. Is it?
জি স্যার।
So, anybody else? What is add value?
এক্সট্রা কোনো ফিচার থাকা আর কি, এরকম বলছিলেন আর কি।
So, Miss,
Sir, adding value is the price we fix for the product or something like that.
good. Your concept is matching with my discussion in the classroom. Thanks, Mithil.
Thank you, sir.
So, add value means that you buy raw materials. And if we give the example of garments production shirt, the price of this shirt is $5. In a garments factory, they have manufactured the shirt, but fabric is not their raw materials. They buy raw materials from outside, from a Chinese company, say for example, and they paid for raw materials $2. $2 is raw materials price. That means you buy raw materials from outside. So here your sales price is $5, but you buy raw materials from the another company for $2. So your value added is 5 minus 2, $3. Maybe $1 for raw materials, $1 for bank interest loan, $1 is your company's profit. So profit plus capital's interest plus salary benefits given to the employees. These are all value added. So we can simply say that sales price minus your outside raw materials cost is known as value added. The operations manager ultimately adds value. Operations manager adds value because he buy raw materials, then he use labor, then he use capital, and finally they add some profit to sell the product outside. These are all value added. These are all value added. So operations manager's transformational role is to add value. Operations management's target is to improve productivity. And productivity means ratio of inputs and outputs and efficiency. Performing activities better for least possible cost efficiency. So productivity means input output ratio or output divided by input. Output divided by input is productivity. And efficiency means improvement or growth or decline of productivity or performing activities well for least possible cost. We are explaining what is value added, what is productivity, and what is efficiency in our coming slide, most probably. So operations manager is concerned with product, process, supply chain. Now the operations manager concerned with time. Time is very important element for the operations manager. They have to produce the product at least possible time. And least possible time can be achieved if the disturbances can be minimized. There will be no raw materials crisis. There will be no machine breakdown. And there will be no other additional problems. Say, for example, employees are going to washroom on 5 minutes interval. That is also non-valuated time. So total time is known as the throughput time. The total amount of time it takes to run a particular process in its entirety from start to finish. So beginning to end, all time together is known as throughput time. And valuated time, throughput time minus disturbances. Disturbances is also known as allowances. So the operations manager will try to equalize throughput time and valuated time. When there will be no disturbances, then valuated time and throughput time will be same. And we also define in manufacturing lead time, the time between placement and completion of an order. Lead time means that, say for example, you are placing an order, especially in garments factories. After getting the order, they start buying raw materials, they start manufacturing, they finish shipment, and the product is reaching to the customer. So the time between the placement of order and completion of order is known as the lead time. Before shipment, or just you will complete the operations from placement. Not only here, the throughput time begins from production and lead time begins from purchasing of raw materials. Maybe you are purchasing raw materials from China. It takes additional 30 days. Then cycle time. Cycle time means that the amount of time it takes to complete a specific task from start to finish. Here, throughput time means total time. And cycle depends on, say, for example, how long does it take to cut the fabric? Cutting time, cutting cycle time. How long does it take to sew the garments? Sewing cycle time. How long does it take to packing a product? Ironing and packing. It is known as finishing cycle time. So cycle time means time it takes to complete a specific job. A specific task means here cutting, sewing, or finishing. And lead time, here we say that order received and product delivered. Total is known as the lead time. And manufacturing started, manufacturing ends. This is throughput time. Manufacturing started, manufacturing ends. It is known as the throughput time. And valuated time, so when you will minimize the disturbances in the manufacturing process, no machine breakdown, no scarcity of raw materials, then your valuated time and throughput time will be same. So when you say that operations manager is concerned with time, so time means it may be lead time, it may be cycle time, it may be manufacturing time, it may be throughput time, it may be value-added time. Ultimately, your target is to minimize the disturbances or allowances. Operations manager deal with time. Cost. This is, cost of goods manufactured schedule of a company. What is cost of goods manufacturing schedule? Or this is also known as manufacturing cost. To manufacture a product, you need raw materials, raw materials cost. To manufacturing post product, you need labor. To manufacturing a product, you need manufacturing overhead. Manufacturing overhead means what? Factory insurance, depreciation, utilities, factory repairs, direct labor and indirect labor. So indirect materials is also manufacturing overhead. So you need direct materials, you need direct labor, you need manufacturing overhead. These are the three components of manufacturing cost. So you as a operations manager will try to minimize the direct materials use. You will minimize the or best utilize the labor. That means if you can save 1 minute time, your labor cost will decrease. If you can save 1 minute time, your utility cost, your depreciation cost, there are some related cost with time will save. So your manufacturing cost will decrease. As a operations manager, you are not concerned with operations cost. Operations means operating cost. Maybe if you finish a course on financial accounting, you will find that administrative expenses and selling and distribution expenses together is known as operating cost. So operations manager is not concerned with selling cost, not concerned with administrative cost. Operations manager is only concerned with manufacturing cost. That means materials, labor, and overhead. So as a operations manager, if you take care of these issues, it is related with raw materials uses, it is related with labor uses, it is related with the other production costs. Total is known as the manufacturing cost. Operations manager try to maximize the, minimize the manufacturing cost. Try to minimize the manufacturing cost. Operations manager try to, গত ক্লাসে কি আমরা এটাকে এই পর্যন্ত পড়িয়েছিলাম? আপনাদের ইকোনমিক্স অফ স্কেল নিয়ে কথা হয়েছিল?
নো স্যার।
Okay. Then operations manager's most important job is to utilize the capacity. Operations manager most important job is to utilize the capacity, and if the operations manager can utilize the capacity 100%, their average cost, this is average cost, the average cost will be minimum. So for an example, a factory can produce two products or Q2 product. The factory has capacity to produce Q2 product. But if the factory actually produce Q1 or Q product up to Q, that means quantity. You can produce up to Q2, but you are now producing Q1 or Q. What will be the impact? Your impact will be your cost, average cost will be higher. Here, C. But if you can increase the production up to your capacity, then your average cost will minimize. So as you are producing more, your average cost is decreasing. It is known as economies of scale. It is known as economies of scale. Economies of scale are cost advantages companies experience when production becomes efficient, as fixed cost can be spread over a larger amount of goods. Maybe how fixed cost is spreading over a larger amount of goods, this example will make it more clear. Say for example here, the cost summary of a production factory is given here. Cost summary. Variable cost. The variable cost of a production factory is $10. What is variable cost? To produce one shirt, we need $10 equivalent raw materials, fabric. And fixed cost is 100. What is fixed cost? Say for example, the rental of the factory is fixed. Whether you are producing 1 unit or 100 unit, it doesn't matter. You have to pay 100,000 as rent. It is fixed cost. So the variable cost of a production factory is $10 and fixed cost is $100,000. The production capacity is 5,000. So the company can produce at a time 5,000 units. So calculate the average cost and draw a cost curve showing you are producing 1,000 units, when you are producing 2,500 units, when you are producing 5,000 units, and when you are producing 6,000 units. So your production capacity is 5,000 units, 5,000. But if you produce 6,000 units, can you produce 6,000 units in this factory? Can you produce 6,000 units in your factory? Your production capacity of your factory is 5,000 units. So can you produce 6,000 units in normal sense? Maybe you cannot produce.
No.
Good. So now, if you think that your production, your options are 1,000 units, second option is 2,500 units, third option is 5,000 units, and the fourth option is 6,000 units. And your variable cost is $10. When you are producing 1,000, your variable cost will be per unit variable cost. I'm talking about per unit variable cost, $10. $10 fabric. $10 fabric, $10 fabric, $10. So total variable cost will 10,000. 1,000 times 10, 10,000. 2,500 times 10, 25,000, 50,000, 60,000. It will vary because for 1 unit, you need $10 fabric. For 1,000 unit, you need $10,000 equivalent fabric. For 1 unit, you need $10 fabric for this shirt. And for 2,500, student তো decrease করতেছে. One student has left the class. So when you are producing 2,500 units, your fabric cost will remain same for 1 unit. And for 2,500 units, you need 25,000 units. Are you getting? So are you with me? Mr. Sadman? So can you hear me, Mr. Sadman?
Yes, sir.
So what is $10 and what is 1,000? What is $10 and what is 1,000?
Sir, $10 per unit, this year $1,000 unit produce.
Good. So your total variable cost will be 10,000. And your fixed cost is 100,000, 100,000, 100,000 and 200,000. Fixed cost আমরা কি বলেছিলাম? It was the rental of the factory. 1,000 production করলে কি rental 100,000 দিতে হবে কিনা? If you produce 2,500, you have to pay 100,000 rental of the factory. If you produce 5,000, then you have to pay 100,000 factory rental. But your capacity now, you can maximum produce 5,000 units in your factory. So if you produce 6,000 units, you have to rent one more factory. For the moment, we consider it. আরেকটা factory কিন্তু আপনাকে নিতে হবে কারণ 5,000 maximum capacity. When you are producing 6,000, it means that you are renting one more factory. So 100,000 আগে ভাড়া দিতেন, এখন নতুন আরেকটা ফ্যাক্টরির ভাড়াও নেবেন, সেটার দাম ধরে নিলাম আরো 1,00,000। So total 200,000. এখন এই 100,000 আপনার কি ফ্যাক্টরি রেন্টাল। যদি 1,000 ইউনিট প্রোডাকশন করেন তাহলে পার ইউনিট হবে 100। যদি আপনি 2,500 করেন তাহলে 100,000 ডিভাইডেড বাই 2,500 ইকুয়ালস 40। যদি আপনি 5,000 প্রোডাকশন করেন তাহলে অ্যাভারেজ ফিক্সড কস্ট কত হবে? 100,000 divided by 5,000, 20। তার মানে কি আপনার এই ফিক্সড কস্ট আপনি যতই প্রোডাকশন বাড়াচ্ছেন, your fixed cost is spreading over। এখানে যে ডেফিনেশনটা বলছেন, economies of scale are cost advantages companies experience when production becomes efficient, as fixed costs can be spread over a larger amount of goods। As fixed costs can be spread over a larger amount of goods। এইটাই হয়েছে এখানে। So your fixed cost was spreading over the larger amount of goods। 5,000 পর্যন্ত কমলো। 100 when you are producing 1,000, 40 when you are producing 2,500, 20 when you are producing 5,000। 100,000 divided by 5,000 equals 20। কিন্তু আপনি যখন এই 100% ক্যাপাসিটির বাহিরে প্রোডাকশন করতে যাবেন, তখনই কিন্তু আপনার আরো ফিক্সড কস্ট বেড়ে যাবে। So your fixed cost, we suppose our fixed cost has doubled. That means 200,000. 200,000 divided by 6,000 is 33। That means আপনার fixed cost কমতেছিল at 100% capacity। এর বাহিরে গেলে আবার আপনার fixed cost বাড়বে। So average cost is 100 plus 10, 40 plus 10, 20 plus 10, 33 plus 10, 43। এখন আপনি যদি if you plot it, these are the number of units Q. If it is Q and it is average cost, যেটা আমরা এখানে শো করেছিলাম, this is Q and this is average cost. When you are producing Q1, your average cost is C, higher. When you are producing Q2, increasing output, your average cost decline to C1, and it is the minimum. It is economies of scale. It is economies of scale. এখন আপনি 1000 করলে আপনার অ্যাভারেজ হয় 110, 110 and 1000. 2000 করলে হয় 2500. 2500, your average cost is 50. When you are producing 5000, your average cost is 30, 30, 35,000. But when you are producing beyond your capacity, 6,000, then your average cost is again increasing. It becomes 6,000 production and unit cost will be 43. This is 43. 43. 43 when you are producing 6,000. So as an operation manager, what you have to make sure that you are producing at 100% capacity. When you can produce at 100% capacity, your average cost will be minimum. So operations manager can minimize the cost by applying economies of scale. More production, less average cost. Because your fixed cost is spreading over many units. Do you have any confusions about what is economies of scale and how the operations manager is related with economies of scale? এবার বলেন, or finally you do it. এবার আপনারা বাসায় বসে এটা ডো করেন, ক্যালকুলেট করে আমাকে বলেন what is the minimum average cost. সবাই দেখাবেন, সবাই। It's not very difficult. Mr. Shadman, Ishrat, Ashraf, Mithila, maybe you're on the way. So all you calculate the average cost at 100% capacity. আছেন আপনারা নাকি?
জি স্যার।
So can you solve it? Try. So operations manager is also concerned with quality. If you produce any defective product and if you sold out it to the users, what will happen? The users will not come back to your company second time. That's why it is very important to make sure that your quality is standard. The definition of quality is conformation to standards. And for quality assurances, there are quality management system, QMS, and ISO 9000 standards have become international measures of quality. To become ISO 9000 certified company, a company must demonstrate that a quality control system is in use, and the system clearly defines an expected level of quality. The system is fully operational and is backed up with detailed documentation of quality control measures, procedures. The intended level of quality is being achieved on a sustained basis. So that means ISO means International Standardization Organization. What is its job? They'll check your system. System, everywhere is system and documents. So if you have quality control system, if your system is properly documented and it is operational, then they will certify your company as ISO 9000 certified company. ISO 9000 certified company. So operations manager is a very vital player to maintain a quality control system, to document everything, and the control process is in use. Quality is very important for the operations manager. That's what I am trying to say. Flexibility is coping with incoming materials of varying quantity levels. Flexibility in satisfying the market demand for products and varying quantity levels. Flexibility in competing against new products introduced by competitors. Flexibility in modifying existing products. Flexibility in changing delivery and development schedules. Flexibility in accepting demand volumes of varying levels. Flexibility in making changes to product mix. Flexibility in coping with changes to the resource mix. That means operations manager is concerned with flexibility. This flexibility means your even resource mix flexibility, raw materials flexibility, raw materials, your customer flexibility, what the customers are demanding. So your production should be flexible. You must not be in a fix. যা তৈরি করতেছি এটাই তৈরি করতে থাকবো. It is not the job of the operations manager. Operations manager must be flexible and with the environmental forces. So if we say that operations manager deals with product, process, supply chain, operations manager adds value, and operations manager improves productivity, and operations manager brings effectiveness in uh, operations manager deals with efficiency. That means achieving minimum cost of resources and maximum utilization of resources. Here, value added. What do you mean by value added is given here. It is the annual report of a company. It is the annual report of Square Textiles company, Square Textiles. And you can find a value added statement of value added. This is the statement of value added. Every company prepares such statement of value added. What is the definition of value added? Sales price minus outside raw materials. Sales price minus outside raw materials. Here it is the sales price. Total sales turnover, because it is a total figure, not a one product figure. And brought in raw materials and services. এতটুকু জিনিস তারা বাহির থেকে নিয়ে আসছে, এটা তাদের নিজেদের না। আর এই দুটোর যে ডিফারেন্স, টার্নওভার মাইনাস ব্রট ইন সার্ভিসেস ইজ ইকুয়ালস ভ্যালু অ্যাডেড। এখন এই আদার ইনকাম এটাও কি এই টার্নওভারের মধ্যে থাকতো। এটা অ্যাকাউন্টিং পলিসির কারণে এই টার্নওভার সেলস এর মধ্যে দিতে পারে নাই। কারণ কি আপনার এটা বলছে আদার ইনকাম কে, ধরেন আপনি একটা প্রোডাক্ট বিক্রি করলেন এই $800, সে $800 এনে আপনি আবার ব্যাংকে রাখলেন, ব্যাংকে রাখলে কি ইন্টারেস্ট পাবেন আপনার $14। এই $14 ইজ নট টার্ন ওভার, ইট ইজ আলটিমেটলি আদার ইনকাম। এটাও ভ্যালু এডেড, এটাও তো মালিকরা পাবে। ইট ইজ অলসো ইনক্লুডেড ইন প্রফিট ক্যালকুলেশন। আর ইউ গেটিং হোয়াট ইজ আদার ইনকাম? এই যে আমরা বলতে পারি যে সেলস মাইনাস, সেলস মিনস টার্ন ওভার, মাইনাস আউটসাইড র মেটেরিয়ালস ইজ ভ্যালু এডেড। এখন এই ভ্যালু এডেডটা কি কোথায় কোথায় হতে পারে? যেমন এমপ্লয়ীদের স্যালারি বেনিফিট দিছে এত টাকার, the taxes paid to the government is equivalent to এত dollar, and provider of capital, that means dividend, and retained by the company, dividend plus retained earnings is equals profit. In other words, you can say that if you go here and say for example your sales price of a product. What is the sales price of a product? Sales price of a product, say for example, is $100, and outside raw materials price is $50. So your total value added is 100 minus 50 is 50. Value added is 50. And what is the distribution of $50? Say for example, you paid wages $10. You paid tax or rental. We say it is rental, more $10. You paid interest for capital, more $10. And 50, 10, 30, and profit. Profit is $20. And what is the total amount of value added? Total amount of value added is 50. Are you getting? That
জি
means
স্যার।
the $50 that is adding in your company is distributed among the four factors of production. These are known as the four factors of production. Labor. We pay wages for labor. Land, we pay rental or tax. সরকারের ল্যান্ড ব্যবহার করেন না আপনারা, এই কারণে তো ট্যাক্স দিতে হয়। Land. For capital and for entrepreneur. These are the four factors of production: land, labor, capital, entrepreneur. And all the value added are distributed among these four factors. Maybe wages, taxes or rental, interest on capital, and profit of the owners, entrepreneurs' profit. So our value added will be distributed among these factors. But all factors, operations manager is not concerned with all value added. Say for example, tax you are paying, and within wages, the administrative expenses are included. Administrative expense and sales and distribution expenses are included. So You can say primarily that it is the job of the operations manager to add value. Add value is the net increase between output product value and input raw materials value, or sales price minus raw materials cost. Direct materials, direct labor, manufacturing overhead, cost of goods manufactured schedule যেটা দেখে আসলাম আমরা. Ultimately, three costs are related with operations department, production department of a company. So every company prepares value-added statement. Not all value-added are coming from the operations department, but materials, labor, and overhead are related. Production department is related, or cost of manufacturing is related. So operations managers add value, not 100% value of the company. Production value and productivity. Operations manager is concerned with productivity. Concerned with productivity means that the company will measure the output and what are the inputs used. The ratio is known as the productivity output. Say, for example, in this case, what is the output here? Output is equivalent to 100. Output is 100 and input is total 4 factors. These are the inputs. Inputs are 50. So your productivity is output is 100 divided by input is 50 is 2. Productivity is 2. So say for example, this is the 2024 data. Your productivity is 2. And in 2025, your output is now it is 95 output. Value added is 95. And your profit will decrease. It may be $5. So not 5, 15. $15. So this time your input value is 45 and your output value is 95. So what is the productivity? 95 divided by 45. 45. It is 2.11. So we can say that productivity has improved, increased. Productivity in 2024 was 2 and productivity in 2024 is 2.11. The productivity has increased. We can say that with the same amount of outside raw materials, the operations manager achieved efficiency by 0.11. It is productivity improvement, or in other words, it is efficiency. So as the operations manager has improved productivity and achieved efficiency, the evaluation of the operations manager is good. Even if you are thinking about the performance, what is the performance of the operations manager? You will say that the operations manager's performance is better. Are you getting what is productivity? Productivity measures output per unit of input. For instance, if a factory produced 10,000 units while being billed for 5,000 hours of labor, so it is partial productivity or labor productivity, because only one factor we have considered, being billed for 5,000 hours worth of labor. তার মানে কি এখানে শুধু লেবারের কথা বলছে। So 10,000 units is your output. Divide by input is 5,000 equals 2. Labor productivity is 2. And efficiency means is achieving the goal, and efficiency is achieving the goal with minimum cost of resources or maximum utilization of resources. এবার আপনি দেখবেন যে ওয়েদার প্রোডাক্টিভিটি একটু আগে যেটা শো করলাম এফিসিয়েন্সি ক্যালকুলেট করতে গিয়ে যে আমার গত বছর ছিল 2 প্রোডাক্টিভিটি, এখন হলো আমার 2.11। তার মানে কি ইনপুট ইউজ করে আমার আউটপুট কিন্তু রেশিও বেশি। My output ratio relative to previous year is more, and it is more by 0.11. It is the efficiency. It is because of efficiency, because you have used the inputs in a better way. Use the inputs in a better way. Less inputs, more outputs, it indicates. It is efficiency in operations management. So as a operations manager, you have to bring efficiency. You have to bring efficiency. যেমন আপনি এখানে বলছে যে you can go to the report and you can calculate efficiency using page number 68. সবাই আছেন তো নাকি? Again,
জি
এখানেই
স্যার।
এটাই go to the 68 page number. '66, '67, '68. Good. So think about the cost of goods sold. It is cost of goods sold is coming from the production department, all right? Or you can think only about the cost of goods, cost of production, or manufacturing cost of production is same. Cost of production here in 20 it is 2019-2018. Cost of production in 2018 is 19 is this amount, and 2018 is this amount. All right. So now we can calculate the productivity. Now you need to know the amount of sales. Is your output? Sales means your output, isn't it? Sales is your output. So here, what is the sales? Can you find out the sales figure? Okay, first you take the notes of these two figures. So here, production cost. Production cost. Production cost in 2019, 2018. And what is the production cost in 2018? Is this figure. So production cost means your raw materials cost, labor cost, and manufacturing overhead. Are you getting it? Are these the inputs? এগুলি input কিনা? Are these the inputs? এগুলি কি input কিনা?
ইয়েস স্যার।
Inputs, good. And
টোটাল।
output মানে কি এই production cost দিয়ে যেটা তৈরি করে sales. Sales is your output. So find out sales.
আউটপুট।
Go to sales. Maybe sales data will be sales revenue. Here
Yes,
in 2019, your sales, this one is your sales. This is your output. Do you have any doubt that it is output or input? Is this not your output? Output value. তাই না?
yes, sir.
So now calculate the productivity. What is the productivity? Output divided by input. Its productivity is 1.11 and productivity in 2018 was 1.10. Are you getting? So that means your productivity has improved by 0.01%, or you can say growth rate. This one divided by this one multiplied by 100. Your productivity growth is not 9%. Productivity growth is 92%. Is maybe there is a error in calculation. So here we are defining efficiency. The operational efficiency is 0.1%. Are you getting? Around 1% efficient, because the productivity has improved from 1.10 to 1.11 or 1.12. The manager, even if you are thinking to evaluate the performance of the production manager, you can say that the productivity of the operations manager has improved, or production department's productivity has improved. So the manager is a good manager. Are you getting what I'm talking about? Then what is productivity and what is efficiency is clear or not? What is productivity and what is efficiency? So if you recall the examples, this will make you more clear how you will calculate the productivity and how you will calculate the efficiency. Of course, we will deliver one separate lecture on productivity calculation, productivity, efficiency, and competitiveness. There is a separate chapter, or operations efficiency. We will discuss about the productivity in a different chapter, but for the moment, operations manager is concerned with the productivity. Operations manager is concerned with bringing efficiency using the inputs. So what is operations management? Operations management indicates product, process, supply chain, cost, quality, flexibility. Operations manager is concerned, adds value. Operations manager is concerned with productivity and efficiency. That's what you are going to define in your own video. Operations management is a management function, isn't it? An organization's core function. In every organization, whether service or manufacturing, profit or non-profit, operations management is there. Operations manager transforms inputs into outputs. Inputs are resources such as people, materials, money. Outputs are goods and services. So maybe we are just giving a revision because these have already been discussed in more details. An operations manager converts inputs into outputs. There is a transformation process. Inputs may include labor, people, human resources. These are the infrastructure, facilities and processes, technologies, materials. And we here said that man, machine, method, money, market, materials. And we are transforming it into outputs, goods or services. And you are taking care of the customer's feedback. When the people are buying the goods, what they're saying, you have to incorporate again in your inputs the issues. You have to collect the quality report, performance information, quality report, and you will address the quality again in input stage to improve the output. It is known as the OM's transformation process, and there are some examples of inputs, transformation, and outputs. These are the common inputs usually we use in our production department: land, human, labor, intellectual labor, capital, raw materials, water, metals, wood, equipment, machines, computers, trucks, tools, facilities, hospitals, factories, retail stores. These are the examples. These are not for one company. Energy, information, time, legal constraints, government regulations. These are all inputs. We convert them and processes. It may be cutting, drilling, transporting, teaching. In my case, what I am doing, you do not know what is operations management. Now I am processing through teaching. In my inputs are knowledge. My inputs are education. So teaching, farming, mixing, packaging, copying, faxing, analyzing, developing, searching. These are all searching. Say for example, you are going to search something in website. You are getting outputs, and outputs may include high goods percentage. That means goods, যেমন house, automobiles, clothing, computers, machines, televisions, food products, textbooks, CD players, and service percentage, healthcare. এখানে service delivery দেয়া হয়. Healthcare, entertainment, car repair, legal, banking, teaching, communication, high service percentage. So these are the inputs and these are the outputs. So, Tayeba, Jannati Tayeba.
Yes, sir.
So, what is operations management? Can you give a summary definition of operations
Input
management?
processing output.
Good. And what are the other issues? Mithila, are you on the way still?
Yes, sir. Stuck in traffic.
And what about Ishat? Ishrat, Mr. Shadman.
Yes, sir.
So, what is operations management?
The input processing output.
And any more issues?
Yes, sir.
So it is one aspect of what is operations management, but other aspects of operations management are what are the other aspects? So for example, the operations manager concerned with product process supply chain, cost quality, time flexibility. These are the broad issues of operations management. All right.
Yes, sir.
So when the operations manager converts input into outputs, they also discuss about product design, process planning, production control, maintenance, and quality is vital. Quality relates with inputs, input quality. Quality relates with output. Output, say for example, here the quality. Samsung's in 2017 probe into its Galaxy Note 7 fiasco has found that the overheating and burning of the phones was caused by faults with their batteries. So, what was the cost of the company? $1 billion. Because they have taken back all notebook 7 from the market because of battery problem. Toyota has announced in 2010 it will repair 1.66 million cars around the globe because of new safety fears over faulty brakes. ব্রেকে সমস্যা হওয়াতে সে 2010 সালে বাজারে সব গাড়ি তুলে নিচ্ছে এবং রিপেয়ার করে দিচ্ছে। So quality is a very big issue. Quality is a very big issue for the operations manager. Maybe the expenditure of faulty brakes is $1 billion. Also, poor battery is $1 billion because they have taken back all Note 7, all the particular model of car. All right. Operations manager's role: transform inputs into outputs, productivity, add value. Add value, increase product value at each stage. Value added is the net increase between output product value and input raw materials value. So here the raw materials information is given, cost of goods sold. You can compare. In our previous case, we have only deals with cost of production as the input. You can say that cost of goods sold is the input. That is also input. And you'll compare with the output. That means price, sales price of the product. And when you are transforming, you have to make sure that you are bringing efficiency. That means performing activities well for least possible cost, improving productivity, in other words. And services, these are the services. Intangible product cannot be inventory. সার্ভিস যেমন লেকচার দিব, এটা ইনভেন্টরি করা যাবে না, বাট এটা এখন এই যে আবার রেকর্ড করে রাখতেছে, ভিডিও রেকর্ডিং। অলরাইট, সো cannot be inventoried. The word is now changing. Product cannot be inventoried. It can be inventoried, but it is not touchable, intangible. It is intangible in nature. High customer contact. এই যে আপনার কাস্টমার, আপনি কিন্তু আমার সরাসরি কাস্টমারদের সাথে ডিল করতে হয় সার্ভিস অপারেশনস। ল্যাপটপ নষ্ট হয়েছে, পুরো কাস্টমারকে যেতে হয় ল্যাপটপ নিয়ে। হাই কাস্টমার কন্টাক্ট, শর্ট রেসপন্স টাইম, ইজিলি আপনার সলিউশন পাওয়া যায়। অ্যান্ড লেবার ইন্টেন্সিভ, নট ক্যাপিটাল ইন্টেন্সিভ সার্ভিসেস। যেমন এই লেবারের পেমেন্ট হিসেবে আমাকে পেমেন্ট করে, এর জন্য কোনো ক্যাপিটাল ইকুইপমেন্ট নেই। And manufacturing, it is ultimately tangible product. Product is inventories, low customer contact, larger response time, and capital incentive. Equipment, machine, garments production করতে যান, দেখবে কত যে ধরনের জিনিস লাগবে, আপনার machines লাগবে, right? So these are the difference between service and manufacturing. also have some similarities. Both use technology. Both have quality, productivity, and response issues. Both must focus demand. Both can have capacity, layout, and location issues. Both have customers, suppliers, scheduling, and shifting issues. These are the similarities. Whether it is service or manufacturing, it doesn't matter. You may use technology. You have to maintain quality, productivity, response issues. You must have to demand focus. You have to think about your capacity, layout, location. You have to think about your customers, suppliers, scheduling, and staffing issues. Manufacturing is obtain, provides services. Maybe this is very common differences. And operations manager decisions. There are three layers of management, you know. There are three layers of management. So at a time, we will continue up to 9, all right? And I found that a lot of students are missing. Only 4 students are here. So they're gonna miss something. So there are three layers of management. Is it known to you? Computer science এর কে কে যেন ছিলেন? দুইজন আপনারা কম্পিউটার সায়েন্সে ছিলেন, কি কি যেন নাম? Sadman is computer science background.
जी सर।
জান্নাতি তাইবা।
জান্নাতি তৈবা। আপনাদের কাছে মেবি layers of management is new, is it?
না স্যার, এটা প্রিন্সিপাল অফ ম্যানেজমেন্টে দেখেছি।
Oh, good, good. You have finished a course on principles of management. So lower level management, mid level management, and top level management. Top level management ultimately makes long-term decisions. It is known as the strategic decisions. And in production officer, operations. And mid-level, say for example, senior production officer, production assistant manager, production, mid-level managers. All organizations makes decisions and follow a similar path. First decisions, very broad strategic decisions. Strategic decisions set the direction for the entire company. They are broad in scope and long-term in nature. Top-level management consists of board of directors, chief executives, managing director. Mid-level consists of managers and departmental managers. Lower level consists of supervisors, foremen, section officers, superintendent, etc. So OM decisions can be lower level, can be mid-level, can be top level. Say for example, strategic decision. আপনি নতুন একটা প্রোডাকশন ফ্যাক্টরি দিতে চান, এটা কি একদিনে সম্ভব? It is a long-term decision. So it is a strategic decision. Are the examples we have given that we are going to produce 100 units by the end of the day? Very operational decision. That means in one day you are going to produce 100 units. It is lower level operations decision. It may be midterm during 1 year. How many units you are going to produce? It is mid-level decision, managerial decision. Following first decision is coming from the top management, and then following decisions focus on a specific tactical decision. Tactical decision focus on a specific day-to-day issues like resource needs, schedules, quantities to produce, and usually it is frequent. Strategic decisions, নতুন একটা factory দেবেন, is less frequent. Tactical and strategic decisions must align. Tactical and strategic decision must align means that what is your yearly target? 1 million production. What is your daily target? 100. So if you produce 100 daily, Can you produce 1 million at the end of the year? You must have the alignment. অ্যালাইন থাকতে হবে। একদিনে যদি 100 তৈরি করেন তাহলে আপনি 365 দিচ্ছে 3650 36,500 প্রোডাক্ট তৈরি করতে পারবেন। So yearly your target is 36,500. It is alignment. আপনি যদি একদিনে 100 করেন তাহলে আপনি এক ইয়ারে 36,500 units manufacture করতে পারবেন। It is known as the alignment. So your tactical and strategic decision must align. Say for example here, strategic decisions, broad in scope, long-term in nature, all-encompassing. What are the unique features of our product that make us competitive? Tactical decision, narrow in scope, short in tenor, concerning a small group of issues who will work for the second shift tomorrow. So that means very short term. And operations decision. This is ultimately what are the chapters we are going to cover under operations management course. Operations strategy chapter 2. We will discuss in our coming lecture about the operations strategy. Then product design, process selection, supply chain management, TQM, total quality management, just in time and lean manufacturing, forecasting, capacity planning, location analysis, facility layout, work system design, inventory and resource planning, scheduling issues. These are the ultimate contents of our course. These are the ultimate contents of our course. So in our coming lecture, we are going to discuss about the operations strategy. Operations management. Customers demand better quality, greater speed, and lower costs. Companies implementing lean system concepts, a total system approach to efficient operations. So what is a lean system? Lean system means efficient operations. Recognize need to better manage information using ERP, CRM systems. And now not only ERP, you also use blockchain technology. And increase cross-functional decision making. Cross-functional decision making means that you are producing a product, you are designing a product. Can you produce the product in your production department with that type of design? So you have to work in teams, or we usually say it is a high performance work system. High performance work system or team environment you have to work. OEM has the most diverse organizational function, manage the transformation processes, phases, and operations management. Managers usually known as Vice President Operations, Director of Supply Chain, Manufacturing Manager, Plant Manager, Quality Specialist. These are the common names of the operations managers. All business functions need more information from operations in order to perform their task. So maybe for the moment, the operations manager also deal with, say for example, supply chain. It is producer. You are receiving inputs from the suppliers. You are distributing your product through the distributors. So producer, it is the external suppliers, it is the external distributors. This is supply chain. Producer is collecting raw materials from direct suppliers or sometimes from supplier. Supplier তো বুঝেন নাকি? So you need fabric to produce garments. এই fabric কিন্তু আর যারা তৈরি করে তারা কিন্তু তৈরি করে সুতা, স্পিন। So আপনার garments producer, your supplier is fabric supplier. এই ফেব্রিক সাপ্লায়ারের সাপ্লায়ার হলো ইয়ার্ন সাপ্লায়ার, সুতা সাপ্লায়ার। You are selling your product to the customers, but you cannot reach to the customers. You are selling distributors. Distributors will sell to them. So altogether, this is known as the supply chain. Supply chain. And this is also one of the examples of supply chain. Several examples here. Farmer is producing wheat and they use trucking service, transportation, to send the product to the flour mill. The flour mill then the flours are sent to the bakery. Bakery produce bread and bread is sold to the supermarket. So farmer is going to bakery, bakery is going to supermarket. So the suppliers, say for example, for bakery, their supplier is farmer, their external distributor is supermarket. For supermarket, their supplier is bakery and supplier is farmer. So this is together is known as the supply chain. Supply chain, and everywhere suppliers are included. Several equipment suppliers, equipment repairs, feed, seed, fertilizer, pesticides, energy for this farmer. Suppliers, bakery suppliers, equipment repair, other ingredients, energy. Flour mill, equipment suppliers, equipment repair, energy. They also need trucking. Suppliers of the trucking system. Also same for they need fuel, repairs, tires, drivers, trucks, those who are transporting the goods. There is also one of the components of the total supply chain, and usually we say transportation and logistics in supply chain management. Transportation and logistics. So supply chain management or introduction to operations management is over. What you are going to do, you will record a 10 minutes video on the definition and scope of operations management. And you can use, say, for example, to explain value added this annual report. You can use productivity analysis, this report. You can use production cost analysis, this report. You can use this report for other purposes. So your next job is to record a 10 minutes video on what is operations management. So am I clear to you what you are going to do? Is it all right? Do you have any confusions over any issues?
No, sir.
Okay, in that case, we are going to finish our today's lecture. Hopefully, we'll meet again